Hi everybody, welcome to Sandy's Fit Tips. Thank you for joining us. Today we're going to talk about how to shortcut cravings so that you can be healthier, lose weight, and feel good in your body. So my name is Sandy Hancock with Body by Sandy, and this is Sandy's Fit Tips. I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for joining. Say hello in the chat. Tell me where you're joining from. So I am a fitness coach and a body transformation expert, and I've helped women for over 15 years. I teach healthy nutritional habits, exercise, mobility, and strength, and I also teach mindset tools that help conquer self-doubt. So you're in the right place if you've ever struggled with weight loss, motivation, or maybe you just need some extra support in your fitness journey. And if you're a woman, then you're definitely in the right place because I mostly work with women. But today I'm so excited to announce, I'm so excited to have Holly Stokes here with the Brain Trainer. And she is a 3-time author and has more than 20 years experience in the field of applied psychology with NLP and hypnosis. She has worked with thousands of clients in rewiring the brain out of stress, cravings, sabotage, and the habits that keep us stuck. She is the author of A Lighter You, Train Your Brain to Slim Your Body, and she has been quoted by Shape Magazine, Active Times, and Chicago Tribune, and appears on radio shows and local TV. She says, for everything you want to create in your life and health, it all starts with your brain. So welcome, Holly. Thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
Yeah. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your background and kind of what you've been doing and how you evolved to where you are, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah. So I first got interested. Well, I was interested in the field of applied psychology. Many years ago, I was working with at-risk youth wilderness therapy programs. And so we would take kids into the woods. We're working on them with self-esteem, abuse, alcohol, drug addiction, and really helping them get their feet back under them with communication and confidence with themselves. And once a week, we would have psychologists come in, and the psychologists would talk with the kids and then give kind of a prescription, some psychology homework that the kids were supposed to work on during the week. And then as counselors, it was our job to kind of help encourage and support their growth through this, psychology homework. So what we found in that process, even though little Johnny knew his pattern, he needs to open up more, he needs to share more about what's going on for him, even though he knew that pattern, he still really struggled to make that change. And the work that I did with the backpacking programs led me to finish my degree in psychology. And one of the classes in psychology, we were talking about the placebo effect, which is this known fact that our body can overcome, even heal itself in symptoms just because we think that it's doing that. So this is the placebo effect. We're studying it in class. One of the images in this video I remember was a man undergoing brain surgery using no anesthesia. While he's in the process, the surgeons are operating on his brain and he has no pain, and he's talking to the surgeons and using hypnosis. I was fascinated. After class, my hand shot up. What was that? Oh, that's hypnosis. We're not going to talk about that. I'm like, wait, did you just see the same video I did? So I was fascinated with this ability of our mind to actually affect our body, and how can we harness that? So I found a local school that's certified in both hypnosis and NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is very complimentary about how our brain codes information. And from that point, I was hooked. So that's the path that led me to where I am today.
Yeah, it's so interesting. Yeah, and the placebo effect is just really intriguing how that, works. So let's get started. I'm going to just ask you a few questions about, some things that might be able to help our viewers. So, so what advice do you have for people who start a diet or want to change how they eat?
Yeah. So when people, we kind of have a dieting culture. The diet industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry every year. People are spending money on a ton of programs and getting varied results, or they'll find results for a while, fall off the wagon, and then have to do some system, right? So part of that is how we're approaching weight loss, how we're approaching with this diet mentality. We tend to think of, I'll do this really restrictive diet, 500 calories a day for 3 months, and then I'll be done. So what happens is we kind of get into this frame of mind where we're focused on short-term results, and then once we're done, people slide back into their old habits. So we really need to start making a shift in how we're approaching healthy lifestyle weight loss and look at it as more long-term.
I agree. Absolutely.
Yes. Sometimes we're making it too complicated. And that's amazing that the work you do, Sandy, because you really build people into those habits. Sometimes they really need, especially, getting into exercising the right way. When people learn that skill with someone who has your background and experience as a trainer, you can show them how to create these habits and then start to sustain it over time. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of one way, is to stop looking at it as the diet mentality and looking at it as building habits that you can live with. So often if things are too restrictive, we tend to fall off the wagon, or we get bored or exhausted with it. But kind of look at the longer term vision, right? Mm-hmm. What can you live with over time? And then kind of just collecting habits along the way that help you be healthier. So you can start switching out or noticing what are those problem points, and then just switching it up for some healthier options. That's probably the easiest way to get going.
Right. And it's trial and error too, finding what's going to work for you and what's not going to work for you. But finding something that's consistent that you can stick with. Yeah. Totally. I agree.
And just to add on to that point, finding what works for you. So by the time people come to me, they've tried multiple diets, programs. They're really frustrated with weight loss. And I think that's a place that a lot of people get stuck. Right? But if we look at, rather than I failed all of these programs, so kind of get away from the fail mentality, mm-hmm. and adopting just what you said. You're finding what works for you. Mm-hmm. Not every program out there is going to work for you. So you need to pay attention to, okay, I'm finding what works for me, and all of the past things that didn't work, I'm recognizing there's things I need to adjust along the way, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So thank you. I just wanted to build on what you said, because that's a very powerful focus.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, many people, they want to lose weight and be healthier, but they're, afraid to even start a program because frankly, they just don't want to fail again. Like, like you just were saying. So what would you tell those people that are just thinking, I'm just going to give up. I'm not going to even try anymore because I've tried all these mm-hmm. Programs and nothing works. So, what do you tell those people? And specifically, like, what kind of special tools do you help them to work through those things so that they can come out at the other end and be successful and break through?
Yeah. So I would say start building on successes, right? Noticing what you're doing well. Chances are you already are doing things well. If you're drinking water consistently, if you're starting to switch out some of your habits, some of your patterns, keeping that mindset of I'm finding what works for me, right? Not everything is going to work. You've got to find what system you can do. And then pay attention to your successes, even if they're small successes. So with foods, we have these associations in history. So for example, think of pumpkin pie. What kinds of thoughts, feelings come to mind when you think of pumpkin pie?
Family and get-togethers and loved ones and, just the warm taste of it. And just the thoughts of, it's just like family and getting together, and how soothing and comforting that is.
Yeah. So here's kind of the piece behind the cravings, the things that take us off track, is the foods that are taking us off track, and those cravings typically come from the foods that we have these associations with. Pumpkin pie feels like family, warm and fuzzy. My thing was chocolate chip cookies. I was compelled to make chocolate chip cookies, even if I hadn't, even if I had recently made them, even if I had them the day before. In fact, I have a YouTube story that I think is kind of funny about this history and association. So be aware that the brain has associations that are kind of running in the background about foods. Foods mean different things. Our mind has recognized that foods mean these different things. Mm-hmm. And so when we're kind of getting into a program and we're starting to take traction with it, sometimes our old patterns, these associations with foods, these habits with foods, can kind of take us off track. So that's what we're going to kind of explore today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of like the old negative programs are popping up and trying to sabotage us, and to learn how to deal with that and to not let that happen. It takes a little bit of work. And so I think that's one of the most important things, and why a lot of the all these diets that people try and per se aren't working, is because sometimes there's that underlying issue that needs to be resolved.
Right. Very good. Yeah.
So, what's a quick way to combat the cravings, so people can start making the healthier habits?
I see your cat's joining us.
I'm babysitting my son's cats, and they're
so cute,
all over the place. They're fun.
So yes, just like you're saying, we kind of have to overcome our patterns of our brain in order to make that traction with the changes that we want to make. So I want to take you through a little example of something that you can start using right away to shift the cravings that come up, and recognize how our brain is directly connected to our food choices, what we do, what we don't do, and how to start harnessing your brain to work for you instead of, some of the patterns that it's already running. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So is that okay if I just walk you through this?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Great. Okay, so Sandy, imagine, I know you've been on the healthy lifestyle journey for a long time, but you might also have some foods that you tend to crave, or that still kind of call to you, even though, you have better ideas about what to avoid and what to eat instead. Mm-hmm. So is there something that you crave? I usually do this example with chips, but is there something that you crave?
Yes, I crave ice cream.
Okay, great. Let's go with ice cream.
Okay.
So when I do this example in a classroom, I usually do it with a bowl of chips, because more people tend to crave chips than they do tend to crave chocolate. Mm-hmm. But we'll just kind of personalize it to you right here. Okay. And for anyone out there that's joining us or watching, you can also kind of play along with this, using your own, craving the food that you crave as well. Okay, so Sandy, go ahead and imagine out in front of you a bowl of ice cream. Mm-hmm. And it can be in your favorite flavor. It can be whatever you want it to be. And kind of imagining it out in front of you. And just let me know when you kind of have the sense of that.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want you to notice, scale of 1 to 10, if it were right in front of you now, how tempted would it be? How compelling would it be? 10 being really high, I would probably dive in. 1 being, I could pass it up. It's not going to affect me at all.
Well, if it's sitting right in front of me, I'm going to say it's going to be a 10.
Okay, right? Right. So that's kind of step 1 with healthy lifestyle. Have healthy stuff available rather than the other sweet or sugary foods around. Right. Okay, so I want you to notice that picture of ice cream that you have in your mind as you think about it. Notice, is the picture in color?
Yes.
And is it 3-dimensional?
Yes.
Yeah. So now I want you to notice in your mind, imagine you can turn up the color. turning up the color, turning up the lightness, as if you can see like sunlight shining in on this bowl of ice cream. Notice, does it make it more compelling?
Yeah.
Okay, now just kind of dial the light back a little bit, make it picture a little duller back to where it was. Okay. And now I want you to notice, how close is it in front of you?
Just like right in front.
Right here.
Yeah, it's right there in front of me.
So that usually when we picture foods in our mind, we usually see it, especially foods that we crave, we usually see it in 3 dimensions. We usually see it in color. Especially if we're craving it, we imagine it right within reach, right? So I want you to notice, taking that picture, imagine sending it out about 2 or 3 feet out in front of you. Just kind of sending it 3 feet, maybe even 4 feet. Does it make it less compelling or more compelling?
Less compelling.
Right. So our mind is actually picturing things that we crave close, right within reach, usually in color, right? So bring that bowl of ice cream back.
Okay.
And now go ahead and take a bite. Imagine bringing that ice cream to your mouth, and you can feel that coldness and that flavor, and it's something's wrong. It's a little gritty. There's something, somebody dropped sand in your ice. Spit it out.
Yeah.
As you look back at that picture, scale of 1 to 10, how compelling is it now?
It's not compelling at all. So I
took the edge out. It's
I don't want to eat it if it's got
Right.
Okay.
So take the picture of the ice cream. Has your mind changed how you picture it now that it's not as compelling? It may or may not, but just notice. What differences do you notice?
It just seems kind of it just doesn't even appeal to me.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
It's just I just
We're gonna. Go ahead.
And I just have no desire. I don't feel like I want to taste it. I just don't feel like I don't want any part of it.
Yeah. Okay. So take that picture, and now we're gonna turn the color down. Dialing the color down, dialing the lightness down, making the picture dull, even into shades of gray. Okay. And now we're going to make the picture flat. So instead of 3-dimensional, making the picture flat, you can even imagine a frame around it.
Okay.
Now we're going to send it out into the next room. So 20 feet away, 30 feet away. And how do you feel about it now?
Yeah, there's just no, there's a disconnect, no feelings at all. It's just it's
somewhere else.
It's somewhere else, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So this is from the field of neuro-linguistic programming. We can use this for any food, chips, chocolate, ice cream, whatever you find that you're craving. You can even use it in the moment that you find yourself craving something. Most of us know what's healthy, and we think, I know I shouldn't, but here I go again. We're diving into it because of the feeling that we feel about it.
Exactly.
So by changing how our mind is representing it, the color, the image, how close it is from us, putting it out farther away, dialing down the color, dialing down the lightness, we can give those messages to our brain that takes the edge off of those cravings.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That's great. That's a great tool to use. So hopefully I won't be eating as much ice cream anymore. And too, with my ice cream, it is associated with my family and good times and movie night and stuff. So I have that association there. But to switch that around, it feels good and
Mm-hmm. It just gives you more control, putting you in the driver's seat rather than the cravings driving your food choices. So, but this is an example of how we can tap into the brain's coding system to change and adjust our inner world, our thoughts, our feelings, which then relate to the actions that we take or the actions that we don't take. It's all cued internally, right? Our brain is the center of our experience. So if we can dial in, tap into that, change our internal system, we can create different results.
Right. So that's a NLP tool. That's NLP,
Yeah.
right? The neuro linguistic programming. So I like that a lot. So are there times when you might use like hypnosis on some people that are having
Yes.
some can you give us an example on just how what the difference is? And
well, they're very complementary. So NLP, the benefits of that, some people feel a little bit shy about hypnosis. In NLP, we don't have to go into a trance state to get the brain to change. And NLP is more geared toward changing habits. We can have habits in what we do, but we can also have habits in what we think and how we feel.
right.
And at a practical level, we can think about, changing a habit. The brain actually changes its neurology. Anytime we learn something new, your brain links up new neurons in a pathway. Then with repetition, we strengthen that pathway until it becomes a default. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So also, I shouldn't have said that NLP is more geared toward habits, but because hypnosis is very well known for changing habits like smoking, overeating, some of those things that get in the way. But they're just very complementary. Most people really like the experience of hypnosis. It's not like the stage shows people blinking out, eating an onion, thinking it's an apple, very entertaining. I'll leave that to the entertainers. But in therapeutic hypnosis, I like to recognize it's about getting your automatic mind, whatever your mind is running automatically in the background, just getting it to switch its focus. Mm-hmm. So that's what we do in hypnosis, and it can be very useful for some of those deeper hooked things that the mind just won't let go of, right? So an example, smoking, the chemical addiction is out of your system within 72 hours. But why is it that people can stop and then after 6 months or a year, they come back to a cigarette? Mm-hmm. Well, it's not the physical chemical addiction, it's the psychological addiction. What has the mind attached to smoking? So it's kind of the same thing with foods. What has our mind attached to ice cream, to chips, to chocolate? I don't know how many times I've heard chocolate means love, food means celebration, cupcakes mean happiness. So these are all ways that we can be aware of that inner programming and changing our brain wiring even to create different results.
Right. Yeah. It's so interesting. And you have so many tools to help people get to that deeper level, like in the unconscious. And that's, I think a lot of people are confused, like with hypnotherapy, and they think it's kind of like woo-woo or, they think about the shows, like you said.
Yeah.
And it's just really more of getting in touch with your unconscious so you can go deeper. I mean, you know what's going on the whole time. It's not. Yeah. And so it's just going deeper within your subconscious and figuring things out, like where's this coming from and how can we resolve this? So it's such a powerful tool.
And I'd like to call the unconscious mind the automatic mind. Mm-hmm. So whatever your mind is running automatically, it already has patterns, programs that are running automatically. Some are helpful, some are not helpful. But we can kind of talk directly to those habits, patterns, and programs and get it to make that shift. So, yes.
Yes, it's such a powerful tool, both of those tools. And I've been working with you also. So, yeah, and you've helped me a lot. And I just know how powerful it is. And I also have been sending my clients to you because sometimes, sometimes some people just need a little bit of extra help. And it's nice to know there's somebody available that can help people work through these things and to come out stronger and better and so they can create that healthy lifestyle that they want instead of struggling and falling off the bandwagon all the time.
Mm-hmm. And it's sometimes people just reach this place where they just feel really stuck. I know what I need to do. I just can't make myself do it. Yeah. So that usually there's some kind of inner sabotage. 100% of your mind is on board with the change. part of me wants to, part of me doesn't. We kind of feel that inner struggle.
Mm-hmm.
So those are especially reasons where the NLP and hypnosis are really helpful in diving down in and really creating this shift to get the rest of your mind on board with what you really want.
Right. Yeah, it's so powerful. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. You have so much knowledge in these areas. It's so fun to talk to you and listen to you and share your knowledge with all of my Facebook friends and everybody. I want to let everyone know that I'm getting ready to open my doors in a couple weeks to my revised and updated Fit and Ageless 90-day Total Body Sculpt. And Holly is collaborating with me on my Mindset Tool module. And she's got a download in there for motivation for exercise, which is really powerful. And then Holly's also has a great bonus that she is going to be offering to the first 20 people that join. Do you want to tell people about that bonus?
Yes. So the bonus is Change Habits and Cravings with Your Brain. It's an introduction to the system, but also ways of getting you started into your healthy lifestyle path. Plus with that download. So the first part is some practical tools you can start employing. And then the piece included is a sample of how you can start using hypnosis to train your brain and help it make a shift. So that will be available to a few of the people who register. Sandy, who does that go to?
I think we decided to do it for probably the first 20 people.
Excellent.
That sign up for the program. Yeah, so that will be a bonus for the first 20 people to sign up. But you'll want to, the doors aren't quite open yet, but you'll want to just go to my website at bodybysandy.com. And on my homepage, there's a button you can click that talks about the Fit and Ageless 90-day Total Body Sculpt. And you'll want to go there to get on the waiting list. So if you get on the waiting list, then you'll get some updates on exactly when the doors are going to open. And I'm getting really close. I'm just dialing in a few details and getting everything ready to go. So it's almost ready. And so I want to be able to, if you're interested, make sure you go to my website at bodybysandy.com and get on that waiting list so you're up, so you know exactly when the doors open. So, Holly, is there anything else that you want to add to make this live complete? Or
Sure. I'll just share my website details. So if you're interested, especially people who are feeling really challenged with cravings, definitely would be a good fit. Anyone who's experiencing that sense of sabotage, I know what I need to do, I can't make myself do it, or just wanting to build your confidence. Sometimes we think, if I can lose weight, then I'll feel confident. But often people look back to a time that they were thinner and they're like, wow, why didn't I appreciate myself back then, even when I was, at a thinner, healthier weight? So if you want to change cravings, sabotage, or confidence, you can go to my website, www.braintrainerllc.com. And I think you'll be sharing a link with that in the program as well.
Yes, I have that in the program and how people can get a hold of you. And so then if they want to go further with you, they're able to do that and get the services that you provide to go to a really deep level. Okay, well, thank you, Holly, for being here, and thank you everybody else for being here. And I hope you've enjoyed this live. If you did, please give me a thumbs up or hearts, so that Facebook pushes this out there a little bit more. And be sure to share with your friends and your sisters and your mom and anybody else that might benefit from this information. And remember to comment below if you have any questions or if there's a live, something you want me to cover in my lives, just post that below. But I'll be here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, so be sure to join me. I'll see you next week. But
I have one more thing to add.
Okay.
Sandy, I think it's great that you are really making this available, your Fit and Ageless program, because especially when we get older, we have a harder time losing weight. Our body, our hormones change, and if our body isn't healthy, we tend to fall into a trap of feeling like, I'm getting older, I'm losing my beauty, my health, my vitality. So I think it's just amazing that you have this wonderful program really making this healthy lifestyle, healthy habits, revitalize your body, which revitalizes your face, your beauty, your energy.
Absolutely.
It's about that inner energy that you build up and carry in the world. So my hat's off to you. I think it's a great program.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been a lot of work, but it's been my passion, and so I've been really excited to deliver this to women and help them, transform and help them to lead the healthy lifestyle. So I appreciate that. Yeah, and it's fun to help women. I just love it. But anyway, so if you do want to know more about me, you can go to my website at bodybysandy.com, and remember, you are worthy, you are strong, and you are capable. And it's never too late to become the best version of you. Thanks for joining, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.